Despite yesterday's vote of nearly 40,000, Dallas has a new city council in only 10 out of the 11 seats. The remaining seat in District 11 will be run off in a special election April 15th to determine whether challenger Max Goldblatt will hold that seat in the future or incumbent Councilman Jesse Price will remain in that position. Otherwise, after a city council committee of 3 reviewed those votes in the counting and declared the results acceptable with only minor variations, the only action needed to make most of the election official was action by the council. That action came at a special called meeting this afternoon where acceptance of some bids and the declaration of the election results were the only actions. Thus, after the April 15th election, Dallas will have a full new city council. The only lever on the ballot that did not receive much attention either from the press or from the candidates was a proposition to change the cost of living in city employees' retirement funds. We asked City Auditor Lynn Crossley to explain that proposition, which passed by a handy majority.
The base pension for the city employees is determined by 2% per year on the first $550 of base and 1 2/3% per year they work on the balance of their base. This will now give them 2% per year on the first $650 and 1 2/3% on the balance. The next proposition is the cost of living. At the present time, if the cost of living goes up 2% or more, we raise the pension 2%. The new provision will give them a raise of 5% if the cost of living should go up as much as 5%. The third proposition, many city employees do not have Social Security because the city doesn't have Social Security, so they will not qualify for Medicare when they get to be 65 years old. In that case, the city pension fund will buy the employee hospitalization to replace the lack of Medicare.
How much is all this going to cost the taxpayer?
This will not cost any additional money for the taxpayer.
Dr. Maddox, how do you interpret the recall of the team to Washington?
Well, I feel that the team got new orders that they didn't tell me, but I have assumed that they were coming to tell us that the hospital would be closed. And they didn't tell me what their new orders were, except that they had to return to Washington. But I assume that that they were told that they should not come out to the center and tell us that the center would be closed, but that they should return to Washington.
Would it be safe to say that somebody in Washington put some pressure somewhere?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Who and where?
Well, from reading the newspapers, I think it would primarily be Senator Yarborough.
What about the investors in the small companies that some people say are going to be squeezed out by the big companies? Is this going to end up in a battle of investors in large companies against investors in small companies?
Well, I have always been an investor in a small company. When I started my investments, it was in IT&T, which was a relatively unknown company with some 2,000 employees and wasn't making any money, and it was a very small company. And through the years, as IT&T grew, so did my investments and so did my profits grow. And these small companies that are being acquired to become part of a multi-industry company are fortunate in having the right to join a company such as ITT or LTV or RCA and grow with this company.
But I think the myth that all young people are bad ought to be cleared up right now. I travel around all over the United States. I deal with many young people. And I found out that all young people are not bad in the very fact that what is going to take place right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I've just come from a meeting here in Fort Worth concerning Decency in America crusade that's going to take place this month in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And what is happening to young people? Well, I think you'll be very thrilled to know that there are many young people that were at this meeting, and these young people are excited about doing something in America today to clean up the obscenity on television, the obscenity in our movies, and the indecency exposures in our newsstands. And I'm very thrilled to be part of this movement, and I know that you'll be thrilled, the young people that are taking part in this. Again, what is happening to our young people today? I think a variety of things. More freedom of sex, more freedom of choice. And I think if anything is happening to our young people today is society giving them the wrong ideals. And I believe personally, with the help of those who are concerned, not only young people but adults, that we can bring out in the open the many good young people that are in our country today. And this is what I believe is happening to our young people today. There are those that are beginning to step out for decency. And I think you'll be